What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got something very special planned for you. I'm here with an incredible guy, a guy that was asked of me to bring on, and I've known of him, I've seen his content, and he does fantastic work. I'm here with I Am Life of Dreads. I'm going to leave his link in the description if you guys want to click on it, support his channel. Honestly, I mean this. I mean, a really down-to-earth, nice guy, and he cranks out, much like VG Fight School, they crank out Gotham Knights videos unlike anybody else, and definitely more than me. So thank you so much, man, for being here.
First, I gotta say thank you so much for having me. Like, it's been an absolute honor and a mind-baffling situation to be on this platform with you right now. As someone who's been watching you for a long time, it's like a dream come true. Like, I can really say Gotham Knights has made something impossible happen right now. So I'm truly grateful for that, Alex.
Yeah, well, no problem, and thanks again for being here. So we have a kind of a central topic we want to discuss. We're going to kind of go over our rankings right now, kind of our predictions of which night may be the most fun to play. I did this a while ago. I did this, I think, before they did the gameplay trailers, or maybe after they did one or two, but kind of want to, with everything we know, with the gameplay we've seen, who's going to be the most fun. But I just want to ask you first, I'm trying to do this kind of with each person I talk to, where are you, on the game? We're not playing the game, right? We don't have an early code, but we're about 2 weeks out, maybe by the time the video comes out, maybe a little more, a little less. How you feeling that we're this, it's pretty surreal to me, but how are you feeling this close to the game being out?
Like, I'm excited that it's finally about to happen, as we're in the last home straight of everything. Like, I'm truly excited for everything to just finally get to play it. Like, it's just a case of being around the community, talking to everyone, seeing that everyone's excited. Like, it's just a great time right now. A lot of people have been waiting for this game, so for it to finally be here, it's just going to be a dream come true. I do feel like within the last 48 hours of release, I feel like that's when it's really going to be a struggle. I think that's when we're going to have to dig deep and really think, okay, let's keep everyone going, because that's when it's going to really kick in.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you. I think I said that maybe on Twitter a couple of days ago, where it's the positives and the negatives of this game. It's surreal that we're this close, and those like you said, I mean, literally the day before, 2 days before, it's going to be a really weird feeling that we actually, even if you hate the game, just the fact that it's actually coming out and we're this close after this journey we've all been on, it is absolutely nuts. All right, so let me throw this to you first. I don't know, you can do an order if you want. You could go worst to best, best to least. You could just say your favorite, however you want to tackle it. But who are you? So who are you thinking of maining? Who would maybe be the last person you would think to play? Who do you, what are you expecting from these four, maybe best to worst in terms of actually playing, moving from point A to point B, the fighting styles that we've seen? What do you think of them?
All right, I'm going to be completely honest. I've been asked this question since the announcement of this game, probably.
Yeah.
And I like all the nights. It's going to sound so cliche to say, I actually genuinely like each night. And I think it's going to be a case of day-to-day situational. When I wake up, who do I want to play as today?
Yeah.
Because I feel like each night will be able to bring a different type of, we all know that each night will be able to bring a different type of gameplay once we got our hands on the sticks and we've got them in front of us. But I haven't really got a main. I just want to be able to be be able to perform a masterclass with each night that I use, especially when I play in co-op. I do feel like I'll be doing a lot of co-op gameplay, so I want to be able to assist whoever I'm playing with, and make sure that I bring the best night to the table at that time.
Yeah.
But I do feel like each night will bring something unique. One thing I can say, I do feel like Robin at the moment is slept on. I do feel like a lot of people are leaning towards a Nightwing, Red Hood situation and Batgirl, but there's a very small, from what I've seen anyway, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on Tim Drake.
Yeah.
At the minute, and I think he is someone that has probably the most unique skill sets, and he looks fancy when he does his stuff. He looks really flamboyant and really skillful, and I think he'll be a very unique playstyle, personally.
Robin, when I first did this list, right? I think, to this day, literally to the day we're recording, I don't know what their problem, and I mean Gotham Knights and Warner Bros. Montreal, I don't know what their problem is with Robin, because he looks, in his limited time shown, he honestly looks the coolest to me. I'm maining Batgirl. Batgirl has always kind of been my preferred, and kind of an overall and very like well-rounded character, getting from point A to point B. I like how she moves. I like kind of her abilities. I like her fighting style. But Robin, like, we have nothing. I mean, we have, I guess, compared to the rest, we have nothing. We have nothing on this guy, in respect to how much they've shown of the other characters. And you're right. I think that's kind of the reason. I think everybody kind of puts Robin like in the middle. Like, if you do like a ranking, and from what I've seen, I agree with you. Batgirl, to me, or what I've seen out in the wild, she's either the favorite or the least. Like, she's never in the middle. She's either, you know, people are going all in on her, or they really just don't like her, which I have seen quite overwhelmingly. Red Hood, like you say, I've seen kind of at the top, and Nightwing. And then Robin does tend to be, you know, that 3-4 range, just because we haven't, you know, seen anything. And I've said with Robin, let me ask you this. So when you say they're all equal, you mean like just in every way? Because for me, Robin, I really don't like the teleportation thing. I think it looks very like it takes you out of the moment. It seems to break the fluidity of the game. Obviously, we have to play it to know that, but for me, that's the main thing with Robin that drags him back, and then I guess not seeing anything about him. But what do you feel about even the movement thing? Obviously, people aren't thrilled. Really, well, I would argue with all of them. Maybe Batgirl is the one exception. What about like their special movement abilities that they all have?
I think the beauty with the game is you don't have to use it.
True.
Like, I think that's optional. Like, you don't have. If we're gonna be honest, you don't have to use it. Like, that's optional. That's down to you. Like, the way I see it, I want to try and break this game within a combat sense. I want to try and create hybrids and try and see how far can I push like the gameplay to see what can be done, what can't be done, what can I cancel into, what can I cancel out of. But in regards to like the Mystic Leap for Red Hood, or the teleportation for Robin, like, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Like, that's down to you. You can still use your bat bite. There's some parkour elements, and also you got your grappling hook, so you can still progress forward and traverse the world easily without having to tap into the knighthood skill tree. But we haven't really seen a great look at what's really in there. We saw a little bit with Red Hood, but in regards to like the other knights, we don't really know what can be done and what can't be done. But I do feel, optional wise, you don't have to use it. Like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then you can stay far from it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And with Robin, that's why I've always put Robin actually at number 2. Like, if I were to rank mine, I would do Batgirl is my main, Robin would be 2, and he could easily overtake her as 1 if the gameplay is as consistent when I'm playing it as the 45, 50 seconds, you know, that we've seen of him and all. If it looks like that, he could easily be the best one. So I would do that, and then Nightwing and Red Hood to me are kind of, you know, either or. I probably actually would put Nightwing 3rd and Red Hood 4th, which I think my list is pretty unique because I just don't know how many people have, you know, Red Hood at last. Let me ask you this. With Nightwing, specifically him, it's almost like people have kind of been on a journey with him. So when you say, again, they're all equal, I just want to ask you about like your journey. Have you always thought they all looked great? Or, because like Nightwing, to me, the first time we saw him more in depth when they did the him and Red Hood thing, I think he overall kind of looked weak. But the more we saw of him, including his gameplay, you know, the minute trailer, whatever, and then when he fought Harley, I thought actually he has improved over time. Red Hood may be the same. The first time they played as him, right, the person playing had no idea, you know, how to play a game. So I feel like those two have improved over time. Batgirl, to me, has kind of always stayed consistent. She's never gotten better, in my view, but she's never gotten worse. And then Robin, just like I said, never been shown. So, you know, do you have anything, like, have they improved to you? Anybody, like, dropped over time?
I do feel like the Nightwing boss fight with Harley Quinn was a real eye-opener. Yeah. Especially for me, and I would imagine a few other people who are watching this video right now would say that little boss fight section kind of showcased what could be done and what can't be done. And it also showed that the person who was using Nightwing at the time tried to implement as much as they could to show the variety in like gameplay style. Yeah. Like, I do feel like Nightwing really showcased the potential of the game. Like, and I do feel like they really made a great effort to show us something that was a little bit more detailed of how combat could look and how combat could flow. It wasn't exactly like Arkham combat, which is a given, but at the same time, it did showcase that you know, there is potential to be creative and also think outside the box. And I think if this is going down a true RPG route and it's allowing players to create their own night, it's going to be down to the player who's able to think a little bit more outside of like their comfort zone and really create sequences and setups that can really push that gameplay to another level. Especially if you're playing in co-op, you can have some real strategic tactics in the way you approach situations. One could go in loud, one could go in quiet, and it's really going to give that room for some great gameplay sequences. As I said, like, it's just down to that person who, if they have the ability to be creative and think, okay, I can chain this into that, I can make this happen, this is situational here, I can use this. And I think that's where a lot of people will grow over time once they really have time to adapt to the game and understand the mechanics and the true inner workings.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Nightwing has only improved from the first time that I think we've kind of seen him. I think that Harley fight, like you said, and I wasn't even paying because there's so much going on in that fight, right? You have to kind of like look at Harley, you're looking at the enemies, you're trying to take in like a lot of different stuff. And Nightwing to me just looked really rock solid. I don't know if he looked like overly amazing, but I was like, well, I have really nothing negative to say about him at all. And I did have negatives the first time, and it's like he was almost quietly good in that Harley Quinn boss fight. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm impressed with him. So for you, this will kind of be like the last thing. For me, I know I've said, bearing, I guess, how things fall in line, I would like to play the game through 4 times with each night to do everything with each. But that's like, I need to dedicate, maybe 100+ hours of my life. It depends on when I get the game, all that stuff. So what I guess is your strategy? Would you just kind of switch each mission? Like you said, with co-op, you'll probably just swap, depending on the situation. But how could you see yourself actually going through the game with the knights?
So story mode, I think my issue at the moment is who do I want to experience the first ever time playing it with?
Yeah.
At the moment, I have got a strategy. I think I'll be going in the order of how the Knights met Batman. So it does look as if it will be Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, then Robin. I want to experience the story from each Knight's perspective, just purely them, no interruptions, to be able to see the different interactions. As you know, each scene will have more nuances and little details that will apply to that night. So I'm really interested to see that aspect of the game. But I do feel like it will be a case of me just sticking to one night, going through the story, and then once I've completed that, that's when the fun begins for me to really delve into the inner workings of each night to provide a great co-op gaming session for people that I know or for strangers that I meet online.
They've obviously emphasized these cutscenes are going to be different for each of them. I'm really only into the dialogue. I mean, they're little individual jumping over part of a roof. I don't care if that looks slightly different depending on one versus the other. I want to see the whole game and say, all right, well, every Mr. Freeze cutscene, what's that like? What's the literal dialogue he has with Batgirl? And then, all right, what's that with Red Hood? And you obviously you can't get that in one go, so you're gonna have to do it, multiple times. So yeah, that's kind of I don't know. I think there's several people that maybe would just swap every mission. I know I've seen that, a person that would just swap every main mission with a knight. But different play styles, and that's cool. That's part of the reason I think this game could be pretty successful, is allowing people to do that when most games obviously don't. So, well, let me thank you again for being here, and make sure, guys, if you haven't subscribed to I Am Life of Dreads, his link is in the description. Show him some support. Does amazing content, and I'm sure, much like everybody in the Gotham Knights sphere, we have a lot to talk about, the next 2 weeks. So thanks again, man, so much for being on the channel.
Thank you so much for having me, and just continue doing the amazing work that you do. It's been an absolute privilege to be here to talk about Gotham Knights, and I just hope everyone enjoys their experience with the game, whether you're pro, con, or in the middle. Just try it out for yourself, and then you can give your true evaluation of the game once you've got it in your hands. So thank you so much once again, and to be able to speak on there, man.
Yeah,
I really do appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. And thank you all so much for watching. Best of luck on the last 2 weeks to everybody, ourselves included. And we will see you all on the next one.